Lisa C. is coming out with a new book called The Daughters of the Sun and Moon, and she's speaking at a local bookstore. I was so excited about this, inspired, like, one, because the title of her book is so close to the book I'm working on, The Sun and Moon Making Love. And Lisa C. is an author that I really like, particularly the Secret Fan one, and she wrote about the Korean Jeju divers in Island of the Sea Women. And I even wrote a post inspired by another book of hers called Peonian Love. I was like, oh, such a great synchronicity. But then my mind, the comparison thing, was like, Lisa C. is this famous author, and she has a book titled almost the same as yours. So when yours comes out, people are going to think like you copied, or in the future, if people look for it, it's always going to get confused with Lisa C.'s book or just seen as this lesser version. This feeling of resentment, like she already is popular and successful and she's going to take this from me. After first feeling shame about just essentially being a hater, right? Like as if someone else's work could take away from mine or who I am. Happily, I remembered to be more gentle and actually understanding and comforting of myself instead of just judgmental. And so this is what I wrote. These thoughts that were coming up around Lisa C. was, she's taking away attention that belongs to me. People will think she's better than me, or people think that already she has more power than I do because she's popular. And I'll never be seen for who I truly am. And that to me very much sounds like when I was in school. It's interesting that she's Asian, so it's not just about the race thing, right? It's just about wanting attention. And so whose attention do I really want? My own. So, my dear one, I understand why you feel angry and scared. You're afraid that this well-known author will take away what you've worked really hard for. But your work is unique and no one can take away from it. What if this was perfect? You love her work. I bet she'd love yours too. Maybe she'll be an ally. I want you to be inspired by others, not threatened. No one has the power to take anything away from you. You were born for a special, mythic story that only you can live. Let others have their stories. What would delight you? I saw an author talk for this book called The Forests of the Sea, and it was about kelp forests, how important they are and how they are becoming endangered. Oddly, it was at a dance venue. Some of the things I've been thinking about that I know that I love and usually enjoy, taking dance classes or making art, but I haven't felt motivated to actually do that. So I went to this place. During the talk, the directors there incorporated like simple movements so that we could make a dance afterwards, and invited us to have a vision with kelp or like a water memory that comes up. And for me, one was being in Korea. So Korea is a peninsula, and so there's a lot of water around it, on three sides. I don't think of it as having like beautiful beaches. A lot of it feels like industrial or not accessible or wild. And one time in some random village, being by the ocean and looking down and seeing all of these crazy colors and textures that were so beautiful just in this like small bit of like shore. And it was all different seaweeds. And I'd just never seen an ocean like that, like have so much life just right at the surface like that. The other memory was I was at Rainbow Springs with Tony's family last year for the first time, and paddleboarding and looking down. The water was so clear and you could see this forest. And I remember getting dizzy. Like I actually felt afraid the same way, like being afraid of heights, like when you're on the edge of a mountain, because it was so deep and so beautiful. South Korea is one of the only countries in the world that is actually actively investing in and doing the work to save their kelp forests. And they see kelp as the mother seed of life, creates this bounty because all of the creatures that feed and live within the kelp forest, it's a huge source of abundance. Right? It's like 20% of the oxygen that we need. Rebirthing the soul of Korea before she was colonized and divided. And to see the current expression of Korea actually taking measures like this just gives me hope. And of course, right, the waters of life. Sun and Moon Making Love Stories dedicated to the mothers, the grandmothers, the ancestors, and the waters of life from which we are all born. So I shared that, and the author David, he said, "Oh yes, I talked to Lisa C, the woman who wrote The Island of Sea Women, and one of the reasons that this initiative is so strong in South Korea is because of the female pearl divers who fought to restore balance to to the oceans in Korea so that they could continue to earn their livelihood. They protected and fought for life in the oceans." So I'm really excited to go to Lisa C's book talk. I think it's next week, and trust that I will be inspired. People said I ended up looking like a kelp forest. Missing the shoes, but look at these cute freaking socks. Those are mine. I'm excited to maybe look into taking dance classes there, or at Sutradhar. How light moves through the kelp forest, and then it can change. It can change in an instant, because of the way it moves. So light coming in, changing, and then the child said that a memory of water was pouring a bucket of water onto himself, over and over again. So pouring a bucket of water, and then laying on the bottom of the sea, looking at the kelp, and then the way the fronds sway. And then for my share, the motion was interweaving. And then, oh yeah, women had talked about the way the urchins, zombie urchins, she said it feels like they're eating the sprouts like Pac-Man. A sea of kelp. And light coming down, looking.